Hey guys, today we check out the M60 pattern. This is the tier 10 premium kind of, or reward tier 10 tank from the American line. Of course, this being a medium tank, it pretty much has no armor. Even on the turret, this thing you can pretty much pen anywhere from the front as well. And this thing has laser-like accuracy. This thing has accuracy like I've not actually seen it before, especially when you put all of the equipment on that boosts up the accuracy even further. You don't necessarily need the accuracy equipment, to be honest with you, in this. But what I do like doing is making sure that every single time I fire, I'm going to pen or I'm going to hit the opponent wherever they need to be hit. And so what you'll see is, even on the move here, this thing has ridiculous accuracy, and we're just going to plough rounds into the WZ-111-5A, who's decided to make a little bit of a silly play there, moving up into the middle at the beginning of the game, going across one of the bridges, whereby we can pick up a lot of damage on him. So, yeah, M60 pattern, straight back at it. What does it actually feature? Well, of course, it's got this really nice DPM. It can go 60 kilometers an hour, which is a lot faster than something like the M48 pattern from the tech tree. Now, you do get some significant disadvantages with the M60 being that armor. It's not particularly an overpowered tier 10, I would say, especially not as a medium. On PC, it's recently just got a buff, which means its turret armor is a lot better comparatively to on console. Now, in terms of how the M60 plays, of course you want to be playing it like a kind of poke and shoot, deal as much damage as possible, doing all of that kind of stuff, making sure that you're just being kind of aggressive, putting out that damage consistently throughout the game. Now, of course, most medium tanks are like that, and so, yeah, I guess it's like your traditional medium tank, I should say. Now, in this game, what are we actually trying to do? Well, in this game, we're just trying to kind of put pressure on this left flank. The majority of the enemies, as you'll see in a bit, they've gone the right hand side, so it's your traditional World of Tanks. One team goes one way, the other team goes the other way, and then you have to either move back to defend your own base or attack the enemy base to do that kind of thing. Now, one thing I did want to point out within this gameplay is, did you see what I just did there? Right, I'm aiming for the upper left or the upper frontal area of the Death Star there in order to track and pen him. So you can do that in a tank like this, where you've got the DPM to permanently track the opponent that you're going to be coming up against. And so if you can do that, that is what you want to be aiming to do, and hence why we just received 956 assistance damage there. Because as we tracked him, he got taken out by a lot of our opponents, or a lot of our teammates who got him. And so we're getting assistance damage, we're getting damage. Really helpful for if you're going for marks of excellence, or you're just trying to improve as a player, help out your team, do all of that kind of fun stuff. And so yeah, really crucial tips there in terms of kind of maximising your games, being as efficient as possible, playing as good as possible, and just trying to win the game to the best of your ability at least. Now, what we do here is, this is the King Lurver there. He shoots us, but I'm not entirely sure if it was him. I think that thing gets like 700 alpha, so he would have super low rolled if it was him that hit me. So I'm going to move right the way around, get into a bit of cover, and just flank the opponents using the mobility of this tank, and just put out as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible, and yeah, try and win the game for our team so we can get back to the cap circle, at which I think we may lose. But you'll have to wait and see to see if that really does actually happen. So 3,800 damage so far, 956 assistance. That's not a terrible game for a tier 10. So if I was to be one shot by artillery right now, I would be triggered, don't get me wrong, or salty, but I wouldn't be salty because I had a bad game. Yeah, really decent game. I decide I'm going to push towards their cap, but then actually make a reverse and flip around to get some more damage, because there's enough teammates on our team going towards the cap that should be able to defend it and capture it before our team actually, or they get in the cap. So what I'm doing is just making sure that I can defend our cap, because that is kind of a key thing that you want to be doing. Now, really good thing about the M60, APCR rounds that it gets. So with your traditional medium tank, sometimes you won't get an AP round as your premium round. As your standard round, you actually get APCR, and this thing does. So that's really, really crucial in terms of trying to hit your shots, deal as much damage as possible, makes hitting targets very, very easy. Now that can't be said for a lot of mediums with AP rounds because they just are that much slower. Just leads to this kind of... it becomes awkward in certain situations. Whereas the APCR rounds allow you to have the decent penetration and decent damage quite easily with this tank. Now, bit of a problem here. We get hit by the 4, which was really, really annoying. We're just trying to out-traverse him, and as you'll see in just a second, he does actually have 7 years of experience, so he's not completely a bot, so he knows what he's doing a little bit. I have to get round this ridge, so we need to put some damage into him. Unfortunately, we get tracked there, which literally ruins our game there, because we would have been able to out-traverse him, but unfortunately we don't manage to do it. We did pick up 6,056 damage, 956 assistance, and 390 block. Not a bad game in the M60 by all accounts. Hopefully you kind of got to see exactly what the M60 is capable of, how quickly it reloads, how much damage you can put out, and the accuracy of the tank, which is superb. Really, really decent game. Unfortunately, I think we come something like 3rd or something, 2nd. There we go. Pretty low base XP for a game with 6,000 damage and some assistance, but I guess we'll take it. 45,000 silver made from the operations and stuff like that. And yeah, really, really good game. Fantastic one. Definitely a tank I would recommend. If you don't already have it, I wouldn't purchase it for gold at least, but it is a game whereby you can certainly have some really, really decent games. We'll get into the next gameplay here in just a second. And our next gameplay is here on El Alamein. This is of course one of the newer maps or updated maps that came back into the game as of the most recent update to World of Tanks. Of course, this one is an absolutely fantastic medium tank that genuinely really did surprise me. I'm being a bot at the beginning of the game, could have gone severely badly there. Luckily we didn't take any damage, so I guess that's a thumbs up, but yeah. See where you're driving, Eclipse, don't be a moron. Right, anyway, moving on. Moving up into this position over to the left is a key position for winning the game from this side. It's super, super useful and 100% a position you need to take if you're going to win the game, because if you lose this side, it really does end up being a severely difficult game to claw back from the opponents, because this kind of is the side that is super useful. Now, M60 and the RU have moved into the middle there to fight with our RU251 over there that we had a little bit of a scuffle with or crash into earlier. Now, we've moved up into this spot. Really, really crucial spot. You'll see loads of decent players taking this spot, enabling them to basically get good vision on a lot of different people. One kind of area that you have to be aware of, though, is the area behind you. So you see this heavy tank back there. That's got to be kind of an area that we need to keep an eye on, because of course if they come up behind us, that's not going to be a great kind of game for us. At least we do unfortunately get hit there, and we couldn't actually spot it because I think there's like a palm tree slightly in the way, which obviously would have obscured the vision, and hence why they didn't go or get detected, because the vision range in this tank is actually really nice for a medium tank. I mean, I would expect so given the size of that cupola as well, so yeah. I guess that's kind of something Wargaming didn't overlook, at least with the M60. Now, trying to get as much assistance damage and damage is obviously the key to becoming better on World of Tanks, and of course if you can manage to do that, then I guess you're playing well enough to actually win some games. Of course, make sure you find some defensive positions, because that is kind of where you can set up, you can make sure that you are spotting opponents, as we just outspot the Object 777 version 2. We put 1 into his lower plate because obviously we know the weak point of that little tank. He makes an absolute bold play there. Don't know how he didn't actually manage to take any damage there. He just fell off a cliff. But yeah, apparently if you just touch your tracks, apparently you lose half your health though. Not entirely sure how Wargaming work out the actual damage kind of from ramming or falling off objects, because sometimes it just is absolutely broken, and I have no idea how they actually work that one out. Object 430U pushing up, unfortunately. Not the easiest of tanks to pen, especially when you don't have the lower plate. So I think at this point we've realised we need to get out of here. It's time to move. Hit the Object 777 version 2 on the move, of course. Really nice shot there. We try and put one more into him, but unfortunately we don't actually pen that one. And now it really is time to get a shift on, because if we get caught out in the open, it's going to be curtains for us. But luckily we don't, and Jesus, Eclipse, what are you trying to do? Yeah, obviously wasn't watching where I was going, and we get lucky again. I'm talking about these full damage, and there's multiple of us getting lucky with our full damage here. Only taking like 100, which is really nice. Should have been looking where I was going, and I wouldn't have taken any. But I guess heat of the moment, situation got the better of me, and I decided to YOLO off a cliff, which is always a good idea. We've picked up a decent amount of damage. It certainly isn't like one of the best games, but I did want to feature this map and where to go, to be honest, within this video, because I feel like people kind of don't know where they're supposed to go on this map. Of course, I'm not the best player in the world, don't claim to be the best player, but I have played enough to know the kind of positions you want to be taking on a map like this, and so I guess I have a decent opinion, and one that can hopefully help you out. I mean, if you're a better player than me, of course don't take my advice, you know better than me, but I guess if you're trying to learn the game, or you haven't played this map before, these are some good pointers. And of course taking this position over here where we were is one of the areas you need to be going in your medium tank. Of course you can alternatively go to an area in E7 that there's kind of like a hill that you can take, and you can kind of spot the opponents over there, so I guess that's something else you can do. As far as this game though, we are about to seal it out. We have got a nice bit of damage within this game, 3,890 damage I believe, and 1,116 assistance, which is no terrible game. Yet again, not one that is particularly amazing. It's certainly no 10k damage game, but I thought it would kind of show off the tank, give it a little bit of a highlight, show you that, you know, even if you're not in a most competitive tank in the game, you can still have really nice games. And hopefully you kind of like these videos. Of course, let me know in the comment section down below. We've got plenty more guides and gameplay videos for you to come. And obviously we've got the previous ones that I've done, so if you want to check out any more, they will be on screen right now. Other than that, big thank you to everyone that's watched this video, really do appreciate it. And of course our channel members for paying that extra bit towards the channel to help me do these reviews and pay for some stuff within the game. And of course anyone that's gifted me stuff over the last couple of months is a big thumbs up from me. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.